Hello, everybody. My name is Jimmy, and I am here today with my wife, Michelle. This is her first appearance on our videos on our channel. Today, we have decided that we want to talk about solar. If you all remember in one of the first videos that I did, I said that we had some home improvement projects that were coming up that was pretty excited. And one of the things that we was thinking about as a home improvement project was going to solar. And so Michelle and I have been seriously considering whether or not we should go and have a solar system installed on our property. We've looked into it pretty deep and have came up with some of the pros and cons of having a solar system on our property. Also gave some consideration into installing our own solar system versus having a professional company come out and install our solar system. What we came up with was basically, of course, anybody can go on the internet nowadays and type in solar energy and get a whole list of companies that provide solar services. What we found out was that there's a lot of companies out there that want to take your information, but then they have automated calling that calls you back. Of course, companies will call and not leave a voicemail, which I'm not a big fan of. And so we actually did have one company that did come through with that. One of the other things that we was looking at whenever we wanted to select a company was we wanted to use a company that was local. And we found a local company that installs solar systems in Mississippi. And so that worked really well for us. Wanted to go over some of the pros that we wrote down. Basically, when we was thinking about the process of do we want to go solar, and but if I remember, one of the things that you and I was thinking about before we looked at the possibility of going solar was that you had a concern about in the event of a power failure. And in today's country, the way the places that we live, you hear on the news constantly about rolling blackouts, and places in certain parts of the country. I think we're more fortunate here where we live, but in parts of the country where they're talking about having to have rolling blackouts. Some news reports are reporting that the energy grid throughout the United States is not in great shape, and that one power failure in one part of the country could actually affect the whole entire grid. Some of the other thoughts that have crossed our mind is there's plenty of YouTube videos out there of people that are preparing. We're not huge preppers by any chance, but who knows what is going to happen with us as a country in the next 5 or 10 years, or what could potentially go on. Of course, one of the things that I told Michelle was I don't want us to go out and spend a lot of money putting in a solar system based off of a what if. I want to know that we're going to get an immediate advantage to it, and it's going to benefit us based on our everyday life, and assuming that everything continues to go as it is. And so that was kind of part of the process. One of the other things that we looked at with going solar was having the ability to control our costs for electricity and not relying on an electric company to provide electric power for us, or that we at least have some amount of control in the event of a power failure, power grid, earthquake, natural disaster, tornado, thunderstorm, or that our power goes off, that we can continue to have our own electric system and continue to have power and lights in most of our functions, appliances, refrigerators, stove, and such. So what we did was sit down and wrote a list of pros and cons. Right, Michelle?
Right.
And so basically we're just going to kind of go over the list of pros first. One of the pros that we saw in having a solar system was that it's good for the environment. The generation of electricity is in most areas is done by one of 3 methods in this part of the country anyhow. Either you have a electric plant that is powered by coal, or you have an electric power production plant that is powered by water generation, which is really good. But most power plants are powered by steam that is generated through natural gas. And so either way that you want to look, you're using a natural resource to produce electricity. Never have been really big on the whole solar movement, but my research and what I've been able to look up is the solar systems today and the solar panels are way better than they used to be. Technology has improved. We all know that technology is constantly improving, and that's an area that we feel like that the solar power system has improved over the last period of time, last several years. So again, one of our pros for it was that it's good for the environment. That, you know, if we can generate our own electricity through a solar panel or a solar system, we won't be using as much electricity, and therefore as much electricity won't have to be produced by power plants through natural gas or coal. The second pro that we came up is I think I've already mentioned it, that we won't be relying on the power grid for our electricity. You know, in the event that we have an issue, or that it's, you know, whether it's a storm or, you know, some other type of serious disaster, we can continue to operate and have electricity at our house, you know, even without an electrical power supply from an outside company. The pros that we looked at for solar energy was having a backup power supply in the event that there's an interruption in our electrical grid. So part of the electrical system that we're looking at does actually include a battery backup. So back to the pros of having solar power. One of the other big pros to going solar right now is that there is a tax incentive available through the federal government to go to put in a solar system at your house. Part of that tax incentive is a help with the cost of the solar system. You get a tax rebate or tax incentive of 26% of the cost of the system. So the way to think about that is if you're putting in, I think, roughly a $20,000 system, you would get about a $5,000 credit off of your taxes. One of the other pros that's associated with it is it eliminates the electricity rate increases. I saw a news article in the local area the other day. It was actually on one of the news stations where that they said in one area, not our electric supplier, but another community nearby, that they expected the cost of utilities to go up 40% this year alone. That is a huge increase. So part of our research tells us that if we go to a solar system, that, you know, that will help keep our energy costs from, you know, basically it should stay the same or only slightly rise. One of the other advantages to putting in a solar system is it does add value to your property. Of course, that's assuming that you have someone at the time that you're interested in selling that does want a solar system. If you have someone, you know, and decide to sell and there is, you know, they're not interested in having a solar system, it may turn them away and make them not interested in purchasing the property. One of the other advantages that I think it's an advantage, I think we looked at it as a pro, was that you know, you have an opportunity to put the solar panels on your roof. That didn't work out in our situation, so our solar panels are actually going to go on the ground. So we looked at that as a pro because we currently have a house that is, I believe, 12 years old now. And so we're about halfway through the lifetime of our roof. So we was looking at potentially in the next few, you know, several years of having to replace our roof and the issues that go along with having to take solar panels off your roof and put them back in place. So we're looking at that as a pro, that the solar panels are going to go on the ground. And it won't affect our house in any way if we have to have our roof replaced. One of the other advantages that or pros that we're looking at with our solar system is that it comes with a warranty. Some consideration, I tend to like to try to do things myself, and was seriously considering tackling adding some type of solar power system to our property, with me doing the labor and purchasing the solar panels and you know, purchasing the inverter and purchasing the battery. Michelle, I think you normally don't like it when I do stuff like that because you tend to think that I mess things up and then we have to pay somebody to come out and fix them.
Or get hurt and break your leg.
or I get hurt and break my leg. And which makes good sense, especially in this situation, because going solar is a huge investment. You have to invest in the solar panels, you have to invest in the equipment, and as long as you pay a reputable company to come out and install the equipment, then you get a warranty. The warranty that we're getting with our system is actually 25 years. So we should be covered under warranty at least until it's paid for. For us, that we thought about in putting in a solar system was the peace of mind of knowing, again, that we have the ability to have electricity in the event that there is a power grid failure or even a temporary situation where power goes out. We are including in our system, or looking to include in our system, a battery backup that will have 10 kilowatt hours of stored battery backup. When we was talking about the pros, one of the pros is that we have peace of mind of knowing that should something happen to the electric power grid, we will continue to have electricity here. For me, the peace of mind is that Michelle cannot handle dramatic heat or cold. So having electric power is a big benefit that was very important to me, or that I need the ability to keep her cool in the summertime and warm in the wintertime, or that she's not having an extreme heat or extreme cold situation. And then that was basically the cons that the pros that we came up with, and some of the negatives that we came up with when we was talking about getting a solar system was the first and foremost is the cost. Solar systems are very expensive, especially if you do a solar system yourself, or hire a company to install your solar system and provide the product. I think you probably get a better system in doing that, but you do have to pay for it. A lot of the sales opportunities ads that are out there talks about how that you'll basically swap your electric bill for a solar energy bill, or to pay for your solar system, and at the end of a certain amount of time, then you won't owe any more on your solar system, and you also will not have an electric bill. I personally live in the real world, and I don't believe that that's going to be totally the case. I believe that that we will continue to have an expense. I also know that our electric cost is not as high as the cost is going to be for us to have a solar system put in place. But the pros to that is I have the peace of mind of knowing that we have a system in place that in the event things go south, that we can continue to have electric power here at our house. We can continue to have lights and heating and electricity. And one of the cons is that we are going to lose two 12-foot by 20-foot sections of our backyard. The solar system that we're looking at, the proposal was for a total of 23 panels. Those 23 panels will go in our backyard on stands. The dimensions that I was given was that they are 12-foot wide and 20-foot long. So that's a pretty good section of the backyard that we're using up. We are on an 1.5 acres, so it's not by any stretch of the imagination. We still have plenty of other yard to do stuff with. One of the concerns that I have is that once you put them in place, it's going to be expensive if you go to move them, and Michelle likes to move stuff. We have poor little plants that get moved every year, just like furniture. So I have a concern about that at some point we may want to relocate our solar panels, but we'll cross that bridge if we come to it.
Easier to work on.
Yes. Optimally, it would have been, originally optimally, we was looking at putting our solar panels on the roof. So I actually have that down as a con, that the shape of our roof is not conducive with putting solar panels on there. The thing about solar panels is in our area, they need to they have to have a south-facing direction, because the sun does not come up and set and go straight over us. It goes more to the south and tends to be more that direction, especially in the wintertime. So in order for the panels to be effective, they need a little bit of a south-facing direction, or quite a bit of a south-facing direction, to capture the maximum amount of electricity. And when we looked at our south roof, the way that our roof is made, I don't think it's possible to get 23 solar panels on our roof. And if we could get them up there, they wouldn't be effective. So that really wasn't an option on us. One of the other cons that we looked at for going to solar panels was that you are reliant on sunlight. Most people know that you have more sunlight in the summertime. Days are longer, sun's brighter, weather's better, so you will generate more electricity in the summertime. Wintertime, you don't have as many hours of sunlight, and so you won't generate as much electricity with your solar panels as you will in the summertime during the wintertime. Over a 1-year period, it should balance out fairly close. You know, there may be, again, I'm a realist. I believe that, you know, we will continue to stay connected to our electric power company, and we will have them for backup. We will also sell any excess electricity that we have back to them and have it go as a credit for times when we need. One of the other cons that we was looking at on the solar system is that it is not a consistent source of energy during the winter or during certain times of the year, and you are at the mercy of the weather. One of the other cons to the solar system that we're looking at is for our particular energy company, the buyback rate that they buy the electricity back from us is not as high as the rate that they sell it to us for, of course, and it is also not as high as the buyback rate that some other utility companies in the state of Mississippi has a buyback rate of, and so that's a con for the system also. So as we finish up with the pros and the cons, some of the other thoughts that came to mind that we want to pass on is one of the huge questions is if you spend a lot of money on a solar power system, what will it do to your homeowner's insurance, and does your homeowner's policy cover it? And so we actually did go and meet with our insurance agent, and it was a first for him, and nobody in the office where our agency is located seemed to know the answer, but he got busy and got on the phone and called somebody that did give us the answer that yes, that it is considered an appliance and that our solar system will be covered under our homeowner's policy. Just to make sure, once we get the system in place, we will have them come out and take photographs and include it in our file on our residence, so that in the event that something, you know, a tornado, heaven forbid, comes through and tears up our solar panels, that it will be covered on the insurance under our homeowner's policy. And from what he said, we should not have any increase in our rate, in our insurance rate. So after weighing the pros and the cons, we made the decision and went ahead and contacted the company that submitted us a proposal, and we have moved forward with a contract to get our solar system installed. Originally, when we made contact with the company that we're using, they told us that it would probably be 3 to 4 months, but they did guarantee us that we would be in operation by the end of the year, so that we would be able to claim that tax incentive on our taxes for the year of 2022. Very surprisingly, after just 2 weeks, we got a phone call from the solar company, and they are actually coming out in the next couple of weeks to do a site survey, and very likely we'll get the system installed and in place in that same week that they do the site survey. Once they do the site survey and we get the system in place, then we will have to have an inspection by our local power company where they come out and inspect it and improve it, and then we get to throw the switch and start generating electric power. So some of the fun videos that are coming up that we plan to post on our channel in the next couple of weeks is installation video of us getting our solar panel and solar system installed. And so coming up in a couple of videos, we will have some installation videos and show y'all our system and see how it works and everything. A couple of things that I forgot to mention. I do want to mention that our electric bill through our local electric power association is not by any stretch of the imagination ridiculous. It is a reasonable electric bill. I really don't have any complaints about our electric company. So some of the stuff to come up is again installation video and that. We also are going to add some more fishing videos and tracker boat videos and chicken videos. So thanks for watching, and if you like our content, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Be sure and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when we post another video, and you can be sure and get in on the action while the installation is going on and get to see how that goes. We've just started this channel, so please be kind, but feel free to give us some comments and suggestions on some of the things that we can do and do better. And we really appreciate your time and taking the time to watch our video.